Yesterday, Denmark became one of the first EU countries to ban social media access for anyone under 15. Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen said social media platforms are stealing children's childhoods, and her government is drawing a line in the sand. 94% of Danish children under 13 already have social media profiles despite existing platform restrictions that clearly don't work. It is November 7th, 2025, and you're watching The Threat Report. Denmark's Ministry of Digitalization announced a political agreement Friday, backed by lawmakers across the political spectrum, left, right, and center, to set the minimum age for social media at 15. Parents can give consent for children aged 13 or 14 after a specific assessment, but the default is no access below 15. Minister Caroline Stage told the Associated Press that 94% of Danish children under age 13 have profiles on at least one platform, and more than half of those under 10 do. The amount of violence and self-harm content they're exposed to online is simply too great a risk, she said. The announcement follows Prime Minister Frederiksen's speech to Parliament in October, where she cited alarming statistics. 60% of boys aged 11 to 19 don't physically see a single friend outside school during a week. Only 12% of girls exercise enough to meet World Health Organization recommendations, and 15% of children receive a psychiatric diagnosis before turning 18. Frederiksen said Denmark gave mobile phones to children for the best reasons, so they could call home and communicate with friends, but the reality is they've let a monster loose. Never before have so many children and young people suffered from anxiety and depression, she said. Denmark is following Australia, which passed the world's first social media ban for children in December 2024, setting the minimum age at 16. That ban takes effect December 10th and applies to TikTok, Facebook, Snapchat, Reddit, X, Instagram, and YouTube. Platforms face fines up to 50 million Australian dollars for systemic failures to prevent underage access. Norway is also moving in this direction. Prime Minister Jonas Gahr Store proposed a ban for users under 15 and launched public consultation in June. The enforcement mechanism centers on Denmark's national electronic ID system. Nearly all Danish citizens over age 13 have such an ID, and the government plans to build an age verification app. Stage said they can't force tech giants to use Denmark's specific app, but they can force platforms to implement proper age verification. If they don't, Denmark will enforce through the EU Commission with fines up to 6% of global income. Several other EU countries are testing similar age verification apps. Stage was direct in her criticism of tech platforms, saying they're the greatest companies in the world with absurd amounts of money available, but they're simply not willing to invest in the safety of children. The legislation won't take effect immediately. Allied lawmakers from across the political spectrum, who make up a majority in Parliament, will likely take months to pass it. Stage said Denmark will hurry but won't rush because they need to make sure the regulation is right, with no loopholes for tech giants to exploit. The broader question is enforcement in a world where millions of children have easy access to screens and VPNs. Many platforms already restrict preteens from signing up, but as the Danish statistics showed, those restrictions clearly aren't working. The Danish ministry statement said children and young people have their sleep disrupted, lose their peace and concentration, and experience increasing pressure from digital relationships where adults are not always present. This is a development that no parent, teacher, or educator can stop alone. Thanks for watching, and I will see